had talked about going out on the water in the Boston weather today, and you know what? It's starting to feel hot enough where it seems like a pretty good idea. So I'm not going to rule that out. There's some glue in this corner. I think Josh tried gluing the windshield. What happens on these windshields, these old windshields, is that over time they shrink due to the heat from the sun. And I think he had put some kind of clear glue in this corner to try to keep that from happening. It looks pretty bad because the sun has turned it into some kind of yellow looking goop here. But, I don't want to get into that today. I want to just stick with what I'm doing, which is basically just did a quick little look around to see where my dogs were. They sitting up on the front porch being good dogs. Good dogs. They do like to run and explore, and you know, I like to let them have that freedom. Of course, we're lucky enough here to live in a place where they can. We don't have a neighborhood and we don't have a lot of cars going by, but I'm working to train them. Actually, I should say retrain them not to chase cars. When we were the only car down here, Daisy used to go out and meet the mail lady, and she would give him a treat. And what she was doing really was training him to chase cars, but we didn't really worry about it because there wasn't that many cars down here. Well, when we got neighbors and we got another dog, I had to ask her to stop giving treats to the dogs. She said she would, and she's been really good about this. She's a real nice lady. But somebody was talking on the radio this morning about, you know, eating certain animals can help dogs catch the bird flu, which is apparently out there. And they were talking about, like, if your dog eats mice or I don't know, various kinds of wildlife, well, birds, that, you know, they can be carriers of the bird flu, and then the dog can get the bird flu, and that's not good. I don't even know if that's survivable for a dog, you know. So we're kind of getting where, okay, now I got to watch and make sure that. Used to be if I saw Daisy chewing on something she dug up out of the ground, I'd be, well, she's a dog. Let her have her fun, you know. She's a good dog. She deserves to enjoy being a dog a little bit, but now we got the whole bird flu thing, and it's like, a whole new thing to worry about. Sometimes I forget where y'all are at. I'm standing here talking to you and I can't remember where you're at. Oh, there you are. That's not. I don't know if waving wire ever does that or not. Sometimes I'll be yammering away and I'll look around and think, where are they? I'm talking to my tubers and I don't remember where I put them. I just did that. Wailing wire? You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you catch yourself doing stuff like that. I've been talking to Waylon a little bit lately. I've also heard from one lonely farmer. He messages me ever so often. And Anthony, who's HO Motorsports, he's the guy that built that Rambler. He took a 4-door Rambler station wagon and built it into a drag car, and then he cut up a 2-door coupe and turned his 4-door station wagon into a 2-door station wagon. He completely modified the body on that, and that was, to me, I watched him do that on YouTube. To me, that was just amazing. And his son got an engine from Cutworm, like a big 400 cubic inch Rambler engine. Rambler made a 401. I don't know how many of them they made, but his son, Cutworm, had one, and I think he gave it to Anthony, him and his son. Got it, rebuilt it, put it in a little Eagle. I think it's AMC Eagle. Painted red, white, and blue. That thing's a beautiful car. So he does some amazing stuff. I don't think he makes a lot of videos. You know, he used to work in a dealership. I used to ask him questions about my Toyota. I think he might have worked in a Toyota dealership. Every so often I'd come up with something I didn't know, and I'd ask him. Tell you what, he's a good egg. And y'all ever get a chance to catch any of his videos, I recommend it. Been thinking about Mr. Heavy Chevy a little bit. He's got, I believe he's bought some land, and he's been up there riding around in a Jeep. He's got a Jeep, like kind of similar. Maybe his is an older one than Patch's was, and he's got one of them little 4-cylinder motors that they had. But I've seen them riding around in that. Out on the, he calls that heavy acres or something like that. Heavy Chevy acres or something. He's a good egg. Him and Mrs. Heavy Chevy. I keep up. I try to watch enough to kind of keep up with them. I can't watch everybody, but everybody's worth watching. Now I'm gonna go inside and watch this. We'll see how that looks. This window here's a mess. This window's got welding marks on it. There used to be a mirror on here, and Josh tried to weld a mirror onto that, and that's probably got all them burn marks and all that metal gone. I ain't worried about that too much. One of the nice things about this car is I don't worry about trying to make it perfect, because to me it's perfect enough. If anybody ever wants to come along and spend $10, $20, $30, $40,000 on it, whatever, make it perfect, they can, but most people don't want to spend that kind of money on a Rambler. I got some guy messaged me this morning and says, man, I've never seen anybody working on a Rambler. And I was thinking, yeah, well, if you spend $20,000 on a Chevy 62 Chevy 2, it might be worth $30,000 when you finish it. You spend $20,000 on a Rambler, it might be worth $10,000 when you finish it, because most people don't even know what a Rambler is, and they don't particularly want one, and they look at something like this, they say, oh, that's a Chevy 2 Nova. Well, it's actually not. It's built on a very similar, I bet it's got the same wheelbase and a lot of the same parts. Back in the day, Rambler used to use parts from other cars, because if you think about it, like Delco Remy, well, they build parts for automobiles. Well, Rambler wasn't a big enough company to build their own generator, so they'd use one of the, they might use a Chrysler, Ford, Chevrolet, some other kind of generator. And that's the same with starters and a lot of parts like that, brake parts and brake cylinders. And so, boy, that looks better, but it's still dirty. A lot of crap got in this car, in it and on it. It's dirty. It's kind of dirty inside and out. But we find and clean this under here somewhere, mostly for the most part. So, what was I talking about? Anyway, yeah, I think what I was talking about is most people aren't going to spend a ton of money on Rambler body work, and if they do, they're not going to expect to get a ton of money back. Now, having said that, if you go over to there's a 64, 69 Rambler Facebook page, there's some beautiful Ramblers over there. I tell you what I've seen out there for sale is I've seen more than one Rambler convertible out there, and at least one of them has the 2-stick transmission. I think what they had was probably the similar, Borg Warner made an overdrive transmission back in the 50s and I guess into the 60s, and I saw a Rambler convertible out there with a 2-stick transmission, and I'm thinking, well, that's probably a Borg Warner overdrive transmission, but it would be cool. It would be cool. I don't know if it'd be like $100,000 cool, but I mean, it'd be cool to have that and fix it up. But that ain't what I got. I got this, and I like it. I'm talking a lot today, by the way, which is not always true. There's some days when I feel like talking and some days I don't. Some days I'll just make videos and I'll shoot, oh, I don't know, hour and a half of video and not ever say a word. And there's other days I just feel chatty and I come out here and chitter chat away while I'm doing stuff. And this is one of them chitter chatter days, and it's probably because I feel pretty good. You know, I had the COVID the other day. Sorry about this overspray getting in your face. I had the COVID the other day and I didn't feel very good, so I really certainly wasn't feeling like being very talkative, but I did still get out and do some stuff, even though I wasn't feeling like talking about it much. And then there's other days, you know, like this one. So I was just sitting in here talking to y'all about talking to y'all, basically, and talking about how some days I don't feel like I got any friends to talk to, so I just come out and talk to y'all. Well, today's that kind of day. I got over the COVID and not sick anymore. But while I was doing that, I found, you know, earlier I was talking about I used to have a chip in the windshield. Well, I found it while I was washing the windshield. It's right there. Can you see it? That's what's left of it. So I still got a chip in the windshield, but it never got any bigger or anything. So windshield looks pretty good, but still got stuff on it. I'm going to wash it some more inside, and I'm going to go wash it some more outside. And then I'm going to wash all the metal parts inside. And oh, I want to take this for a ride because I need to ride it around, build up some pressure. And I want to put some water in it before I do that, but I need to ride around, build up some pressure, and see if it rising pressure is going to cause any leaks, and then I'll come back home. And what was I going to do after that? Something else I was going to do. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to continue my continuing conversation, but sometimes my brain can't remember what it was I was talking about. I'm sure that never happens to Waylon Wire or Mr. or Mrs. Heavy Chevy, because they're sharp, they're focused. They're not like me. I'm running on about a half-watt generator here. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing the best I can. Oh, the joy. Oh, the joy. Do I need more? Do I need more washing on that? Probably do. Probably do. Oh boy. Let's go outside and wash it some more. I could wash the dash while I'm just sitting here. I could wash the dash. What do y'all think? Don't think that'd be okay? I've been thinking about getting some bucket seats for this, although some folks, and my wife's one of them, thinks that having the bench seat is better because it's more old-fashioned. You know, back when this car came out, everybody's cars pretty much had bench seats. There's some of the new Mustangs that had bucket seats. But you know, the Mustangs, if you think about it, weren't even out when this car came out. Like 64, Mustang came out 65. I think it was if I remember right, and some of you will remember, Mustang came out in mid-year, 65, so it was like a 65 and a half, what they call it. They sold a bunch of them. They had bucket seats in them. Look at all that stuff came off the dash. Ain't that something? All right, let's go back and wash it outside some more. So I took her over to Iva, filled her up, and drove her back. She's quiet, she's smooth, she sounds good, temperature's perfect, oil pressure's perfect. If I have any complaint at all, I often find that the tires on these older cars have more vibration to them. Even when they're not serious, just a slight vibration. I feel that in this one, and I feel it in the Studebaker too. I know nowadays they make those big old giant tires like Honey Baby's got out on her truck there, and you don't never feel them vibrate at all. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because they're so much bigger. I don't know. Anyway, I'm very happy with it, and we'll see what else we can get into. Washing the glass was huge. Most all the glass had something on it, and I scraped all of it. I actually washed this back with acetone because I didn't want to remove Josh's marine sticker. I wanted it to stay on there, and I couldn't scrape around it, but I rubbed around it with some acetone, and I still scraped some. It came out pretty good. But the glasses are so clean that while ago I was looking at the driver's door and I couldn't decide if the window was open or not. And I stuck my finger out and it was closed. Now my windshield, that's a different story. That windshield is pitted, like all of them will be when they're that old. I'm gonna look online and see if anybody makes any kind of polish, because I know I've polished my windshield before, but they might make something nowadays that you can rub on there and rub off like car wax. Something that'll help. I'm gonna look into that. That's enough for today. It was a good day. I enjoyed myself a whole lot, and I'll see y'all next time.